Hello, and welcome to ACI's presentation on blood pressure and exercise. My name is Dan Trongone, and I'm a wellness coach with ACI Specialty Benefits. Today we're going to be talking about what blood pressure is, identifying the risk factors associated with high blood pressure, which is also known as hypertension, and how you can improve your blood pressure with exercise. So let's go over what blood pressure is. When we talk about blood pressure, think about your common household garden hose. As you turn the faucet on, water rushes through the hose and out onto your lawn. Now think of that faucet as your heart, the water as your blood, and the hose as your artery. Similar to the garden hose, your heart pushes blood through the artery, the same way your garden hose forces water out. That force that is moving the blood along is called blood pressure. There are two types of pressure, systolic and diastolic. You may be familiar with these terms from seeing your results at your doctor's office. Systolic is the top number and diastolic is the bottom number. Systolic is the maximum amount of pressure placed on the arteries, while diastolic is the opposite. It's the minimum amount of pressure put on the arteries. Now that we know what blood pressure is, let's talk about hypertension. Hypertension occurs when you have higher than normal amounts of pressure on the walls of the arteries while blood is pushed out of the heart and towards the body. When this pressure stays high, even when you're resting, it's known as hypertension. You may be surprised to know that 1 in 3 Americans have high blood pressure, which is indicated by a reading of 140/90 and above. Hypertension is known as the silent killer because you can't feel it, so sometimes you don't even know you have it. You can still be calm and relaxed and still have high blood pressure. There are many dangers associated with high blood pressure as it puts you at risk for several medical conditions such as heart attack, heart disease, stroke, and kidney failure. There are also several risk factors related to high blood pressure. Some you can control while others you cannot. Those you can control include weight, sodium intake, alcohol consumption, exercise, smoking, and stress. Let's review the numbers. Normal blood pressure is less than 120/80. Pre-hypertension is between 120 and 139, over 80 to 89, and hypertension is 140/90 and above. This may be the first time you've heard of pre-hypertension. It's actually a new category of people who are considered on the border of developing hypertension. Developing full hypertension may be avoided by implementing some recommended lifestyle changes, which we'll discuss in a moment. It's important to keep in mind that your blood pressure fluctuates throughout the day, and it can vary if you are exercising, feeling stressed, or if you smoke and drink coffee, and blood pressure tends to be naturally higher in the morning. So how can you reduce your risk of hypertension? The number one way is to eat healthy and exercise. Eat healthy by reducing your sodium or salt intake, eat a balanced diet filled with fruits and vegetables, and exercise moderately for 30 minutes each day. In addition to lowering your risk of hypertension, exercising can help maintain an ideal weight, slow the aging process, and reduce your risk for other diseases. Always check with your doctor before starting an exercise program, especially if you already have high blood pressure, a history of heart problems, if you are over the age of 50, overweight, plan to lift weights, or have chest pain or shortness of breath. Once you're cleared by your doctor to exercise, you can get started with that moderate activity I mentioned earlier. The good news is that exercising may help lower your blood pressure enough to where you may not need to take any medication. There are 3 types of exercise to consider, and you'll want to incorporate all 3 into your routine. The first exercise is aerobic or cardio, people have called it. This increases the capacity of the heart, lungs, and blood to deliver oxygen. Examples include running, cycling, walking fast. The second form of strength, or weight training, which helps build muscles and keeps them strong. When lifting weights, do more reps, less resistance if you already have high blood pressure. Finally, the third form of exercise is flexibility, which increases your joints' range of motion. Stretching, yoga, Pilates, these are all great examples. So how much should you exercise? Any amount is better than none. Work towards a goal of 30 minutes of aerobic activity 3 to 5 days per week. If 30-minute blocks of time are not feasible for you, break it up in 10-minute increments, 3 times a day. Don't overdo it. A good rule of thumb is that you should be able to carry on a conversation while you exercise and not feel out of breath. Some of the best exercises for reducing high blood pressure include walking, jogging, bike riding, dancing, and swimming. But what is most important is that you choose the type of exercise you enjoy most and you stick with it. Now, I briefly mentioned healthy eating habits, but we'll go into more detail here. Changing your dietary habits is crucial to lowering your blood pressure. The DASH diet is the most recommended eating plan as it has been proven to lower blood pressure in 14 days. It can also help lower cholesterol, even insulin resistance, when combined with exercise and weight loss. This eating plan focuses on fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, low-fat or non-fat dairy products, nuts, seeds, and legumes. It also limits the amounts of fats and sweets each day. We've covered a lot of information in this presentation. If you would like to learn more, visit one of the 3 links we've provided on this slide. And as always, you can reach out to a wellness coach to answer your questions. You can reach us by calling 1-800-932-0034 or emailing us at askthepros@ACI Specialty Benefits.com. Thank you for watching this presentation.